Hi, I'm Sandor Borky, Technical Training Manager at Alto-Shaam. This video today is to cover screen navigation for our new Prodigy Pro and Classic ovens. So let's take a look at the Prodigy Pro. So now looking at our Pro Control, you have our home screen here. This home screen is actually set up as our manual cook screen. On this unit, you can change the screen for your home screen. You can have it as the manual screen. You can have it as professional cook or recipes. You can change it up. The customer has that option. So here in this manual cook screen, we have this area here where you would press and you can actually then select your cook modes and set up your parameters of the cook. We have a preheat button here at the bottom. If we press preheat, we can set that preheat temperature, let's say to 350, and it's going to preheat our oven in convection to 350. We also have a cool down button here. So when the oven, you're ready to shut the unit off, it's going to ask you to cool down. So you would select a temperature that's as cool as possible as you want. And then if it was, in this case, 85 degrees, if it was above 85, it would prompt you to open the door. We also have professional cook mode. So when we press professional cook mode, the benefit of professional cook mode is that you can now adjust recipes on the fly. So you can change from convection, you can change that over to combination, or we can change that over to steam. We can change the temperature, the fan speed, and the humidity, and even the time during the cook cycle. In manual cook cycle, you actually have to stop the cycle to actually make changes. And then we also have our menu book here at the top. So this is going to have all the Alto-Shaam recipes and along with the customer recipes that they might have added to it. So just select one of the recipes and then hit the start key. We also have this button at the top. This is our lock button here. So if we hit that lock button and we touch the screen, it's going to come up and say the screen is locked. To unlock the screen, you're going to press and drag the lock over until it turns green, and then it will unlock the screen. The next button here is our lights. This is for our cavity lights. So we're going to press that and it will turn on our cavity lights. Press it to turn off the cavity lights.
Okay, and the last button is going to be our menu button. So when we press our menu button, you can see it opens up 9 different icons. We have our manual cooking icon, which will take us right back to the manual cooking page. We also have our recipe library, which will take us right back to the recipes as well. So we won't go over those right now in the video. We're going to go on and concentrate on more of these other buttons or icons here. So we have our clean icon. So this is going to bring up all of our different clean functions. So we have a rinse, that's a 10-minute rinse. It has a little icon here that shows how many tablets of cleaner that you need to have. And in this case, it's 0. We have medium clean, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes and 30 seconds, and that is 1 tablet. Heavy clean, 2 hours and 6 minutes and 30 seconds with 2 tablets, and heavy plus clean, 3.5 hours and 30 seconds with 2 tablets. So you would select any of these here on the screen depending on what you were going to clean the unit. If there's heavy buildup inside the oven, you obviously want to use your heavy plus clean. Some of the other icons on here, we have this button down here in the bottom corner. This is our cleaning log. Currently, this unit has now cleanings that we've done on this unit, but in the field, you'll see that these will have a list of all the cleanings that were done by the customer. And then what you can do is take a picture of that. There are going to be some times when tech support is going to want to see the cleaning log. So take a picture of it and make sure you have it for tech service if you need to call us. We also have this gear, which is our settings. So this is just cleaning settings. It's going to tell you what they are. This is not editable. So it's going to tell you when the next cleaning is needed, when the last cleaning was done. So this is just more of an information screen. It's not an actual editable thing where you can press any of the buttons. That's going to be in the settings when we get to there. Then we'll hit our back button here and we'll go back. So now we're going to go into HACCP data. So we have this icon for HACCP data. We're going to go into that. And now HACCP is going to catalog all the different cook cycles. So this is the abbreviated version of that. If we actually press on the cook cycle, you'll see the whole entire cook cycle, when it started, when it ended, everything that's happening with the probes and stuff like that during that, temperatures of the oven. We also have this graph down here that you can press, and this will actually graph out the cook cycle for you. So you can have that, and you can actually download it. So there's a download button here. So if you put a USB drive in to the port at the bottom, you can actually download this graph and also that recipe for this one. So if we go back a step here, now we have the download button again down here. You can download all of your HACCP data to the USB, or we have a really good feature where you can hit this little calendar and you can actually set the range. So if we did the 1st of October, and then today is the 25th, it will just pull the data from that date range. Then you can download that to the USB, and there'll be a lot less data at that point. We have one button here down here that's in this HACCP data button icon, and this is the probe calibration. So if we actually go into probe calibration, this is for our product probe. You're going to plug the product probe into the oven. The receptacle's in the top right corner of the oven. And then you're going to get a glass of water and put some ice in it, and then you're going to mix up that ice for a few minutes, and that's going to create a 32-degree temperature in that cup. You're going to put your probe into that water, and you're going to see what it's reading on the screen, and then you're going to make your adjustment with the plus or minus keys. Once you do that, you can hit the check mark at the bottom of the screen, and that will calibrate that probe. There is a log for that, so this button right next to the check mark is the log. So it will show you every time that the probe had been calibrated. You can download the whole list of that, or you can also go to the calendar and set a time frame on that as well, and then just download that time frame. So we'll go back here a couple steps, back to our main menu. Okay, now we're going to go into our service icon. So we're going to press service. It's going to ask for a password. Our service password for our Alto-Shaam units is 6702. We're going to do that, and we're going to press our check mark, and it's going to bring up our service screen. Now we have several icons here at the bottom that we'll talk about in just a moment, but this is our main screen for our service. So here you can see we have our N6 cavity sensor, our B3 and our B5. B3 is a water tank temperature. B5 is our steam temperature. B10 is our product probe temperature. It will show us if the door is open or closed. So we have an initialize valve button. This is for our vent valves. We have an upper and a lower vent valve that release humidity out of the compartment. So you can initialize that and run both of those valves at the same time in the service mode. If it has a smoker option, you can activate the smoker. If it has a ventless hood, you can activate the ventless hood. This goes over our control board temperature and our interface board temperature. We're going to scroll the screen up a little bit. We have a reset all locks button. The customer has the ability in the settings to create their own password to lock settings and recipes and stuff like that. This is our reset all locks that you can hit to bypass that, and it will go back to our 6702 code. On gas units, you're going to see gas speed 1 and gas speed 2, depending on if it's a tabletop or a roll-in. We'll go back up a little bit here, and we'll go to the right side of this, and we have our N7. This is our high limit thermostat. It's saying it's closed. It should be closed. If it is saying it's open, then you're going to have an error code of a E109. K41, 44, 45 on electric units, that's our contactors. On gas units, it's just representing a call for heat. We have a pressure switch on our treated water valve. That's going to say true if it's above 7 psi. If it drops below 7 psi, you'll see it says false, and then it will also give you an E105 error code. Things that we can activate in our service mode. We can activate our Y1 solenoid, Y2, and Y3. These are all solenoid valves. You can activate them by just pressing the button, and it will count down 30 seconds. You can change that time. Y4 is our wash pump. Again, 30 seconds is the default. You can change that to a longer time if you need to. If it has grease collection, you can activate the grease pump. If it has liquid soap, you can activate the liquid soap pump. In the service mode, you can change your handle color. So if we press on that, we can change it to blue and hit the check mark, and then it will change to blue. We can turn the handle light on or off. So if the customer prefers that the handle is off, we can definitely do that. And then we have our gas reset, again for gas units, for a tabletop, and then it will show you both if it has, if it's a roll-in unit. And then finally on the service screen, we have our force door closed. So if you press that, you can actually operate the oven with the door open. And again, you can change that time by just pressing on the time and putting in the time you need it for. All right, so that's the service screen. Now we'll move down to our icons here. So at the bottom right corner, we have a little triangle. That is our air history. So if there was an error that happened on this unit, it's going to pop up on the screen. If we press that error, it's going to go into a detailed explanation of what it is. And this is for help pointing you in the right direction for troubleshooting. The next icon we have down here next to the triangle is a clipboard. This is our factory settings. This is password protected beyond the 6702 password. So we don't really want anybody getting into that and changing the parameters of the unit. If you do need to get in there for a reason, I would contact tech support and we can provide that code to make any kind of adjustments on factory settings. We have our little fan here. This is going to go into our convection fan motor. So you'll see it says VFD1 and then VFD2. So this being a tabletop unit, it only has one VFD, but if it was a roll-in, it would have two. The main thing on this screen that you're going to be looking for as a technician is our fan speed. So right here we have fan speed in RPMs. So we want to make sure that that fan motor is running and that it's reporting that RPM back to the control. And this is where you can look at that. So that's it for the service mode. We'll go back to our main menu. So now we're going to go into the settings. So we're going to press our settings icon. And now we have our general settings. So we have a home screen that you can set. So right now we have it on manual cook. The customer can go in here and they can set it up any way they like. They can set it up so that it comes up with the recipe page, the main menu, manual cook, professional cooking, or category. We have our language. You can change the language on this here. You can change temperature units. So we have Fahrenheit or Celsius. We have an auto preheat button right here. So when you turn power onto the unit, if this function is turned on, it will automatically preheat to a setting that you are about to set here in just a moment. We have a replay button right here. So what this is once a recipe is completed, it will go right back into that same recipe. So this is a feature you can turn on and off. And then we have our default preheat temperature here. So when you turn on the unit and you hit preheat, this is going to be the default setting at that point. You can change this by just going into it and putting whatever temperature you want in there. As we move up, we're going to get into our cleaning settings, and now this is where we can edit some stuff. We talked about the cleaning button, the cleaning icon. We weren't able to edit anything in here. This also has the next cleaning and the last cleaning as well, just like you did in the under the clean icon. But now we can set the frequency. So if we go under set cleaning frequency, we can set it by hours or we can set it by a time and date. Okay, we'll go back. We also have what cleanings are visible on the under that cleaning icon. We talked about 4 cleaning cycles that are on there: rinse, medium, heavy, and heavy plus. But if the customer could set it up so that way they only want rinse and heavy plus clean, you can uncheck these, and then when you hit the check mark, it will only show 2 of the clean cycles under the clean icon. Date and time. So we have our time zone set up, network time, the date, and the time will reflect underneath as you change your time zone. As we go up, we got our sound and light alerts, so we can change the volume of the speaker. We can change the light brightness in the cavity and on the screen. And then we have also a button here where we can turn the handle light on or off here as well. So we go up here, we have our system backups and updates. So on this one, you're going to be able to back up your settings onto a USB. You can restore your settings from the USB, download recipes to a USB, and then re-upload them. This is important for service if they're going to change an interface board with an SD card or something like that. You can remove settings and recipes and stuff like that, put it on the USB drive, replace the control, and then re-upload it to the unit. The most important one out of all of this is actually updating system software. So with the system software that you get off our website, you can go in, put the USB drive into this thing, press this button, and then we're going to hit 3 different softwares. We have back-end software and front-end software for our interface board. And then we have our control board software. Tech tip, start at the top, go through your back end, front end, and then CB should always be last. Security locks. The customer has the ability to change and put their own password for locking out certain things for their employees. So they can set a password for lock recipes, lock manual cooking, lock setting screen, auto screen lock. This is where we talked about in the service menu where we can reset all locks. If we don't know what the password is that the customer created, we can reset and it will just get rid of all of these locks. And that's everything we have in the settings menu. Now we're going to go into the network icon. So being that this is a Prodigy Pro, the main feature on this is that we hook this up to Wi-Fi, so that way we can have the customers connect to ChefLink, which is a service that we provide the customer for recipes. We can also see errors and stuff like that on ChefLink. So it's kind of like a reporting system. So now under this network status, you have a different network types. So right now we have this hooked up to Wi-Fi. It is also possible to hook it up via Ethernet cable or to turn the Wi-Fi off completely, the connection type off completely. So you can see right now where our Wi-Fi is set up. We're connected on our internet, cloud, and update server. And then this little Wi-Fi icon is green. That means it's a strong signal. We also have a yellow. If it turns yellow, then the signal is weak, and then red is really weak. So you can see how good the status or the Wi-Fi signal is by seeing what color that logo is there. And then as we go down, if we weren't connected, we have our setup network. So this is where you're going to go in. You're going to select, the customer's going to select the network. It's supposed to be a private network, and then they put in their password, and then they can connect to Wi-Fi. And we'll go back to the menu screen, and we're going to go into our help icon. Now our help icon is simply our toll-free number here in the US and Canada. We have our local number, and then we have our service department number here. So as a lot of you, we've been talking about our password is 6702. That's our extension for the service department. We also put the air history in this area as well. So when you're calling, you can call right away and then go right into the air history and provide that information to the tech support person that you're talking to. We'll go back out of this. And then last icon is our info icon. So this is going to give you your model number. It's another location where we're going to have our serial number. And then this is where you're going to see what your back end, front end, and CB software is. So before updating software, you're going to want to go into this and just really look what it is and compare it to what is on the website and just update it if needed. And then we'll go back to this menu screen. So that is the review of our Prodigy Pro control. Now we're going to move over to our Prodigy Classic control. Okay, now that we're on our Classic control, you can see this is our main menu for this unit. This only has professional mode and a recipe book. This does not have the manual cooking like the Pro does. So this is the home screen you would see for professional mode. The customer also has the option to change that like we talked about with the Pro. As you can see, we have very similar buttons to what we were seeing on the Pro. You got the lock at the top, the menu book, and the light, and our menu button. And then we have our preheat and our cool down buttons at the bottom. So going into our menu mode here, you can see we have professional cooking and recipe book. That's going to take you right back to those screens. We have our cleaning icon, our HACCP icon, service, and settings, just like we did on Pro. If you enter into any of those, like service here, and you put in the password for service, it's going to look identical to the Pro. Then if we go back here, the one icon that we are missing is a Wi-Fi icon. The Classic control units do not come with Wi-Fi. That is a Pro option, so it will not have that Wi-Fi icon. So as you can see, the Pro and Classic are very similar with just slight differences. So this will close out the classic control. Thanks for watching this video on screen navigation. If you have any other questions, please contact our tech support team. Thank you very much.